Hello there, my friend, and welcome to today's Kin class. Today's class is going to be focused solely, no pun intended, on the foot and the ankle. Now, before you click away, because that's just so wildly unsexy, it's important to understand that the feet are the object of some of the most neglect as far as the human anatomy is concerned, and that is saying something. We just slot them into a pair of shoes that was designed by someone who hates feet, and then we leave them there for a couple of decades before signs start to emerge as to dysfunction and so on. So today is going to be focused on unraveling some of that. And listen, whether you're an athlete, a dancer, or just a human being who wants to feel better with their feet and connect better and perhaps perform a little better in their training and have access to more movement variety, because your ankles will be more sturdy, more range of motion, your toes are going to feel more dexterous. There's something in here for everybody. Now, this is going to be a reasonably comprehensive training experience, and there's a couple of things I just want to talk about before we dive on in and get learning together. As whether you like it or not, I will be talking you through this entire session because there's plenty of nuance, and it's good to understand what sort of sensations, what sort of intent we want to exact upon the work that is in front of us. Now listen, in short, yes, this work is uncomfortable. We're going to be digging into ranges of motion that you probably don't access, so we'll have deep stretching sensations. We're going to be contracting things, so there's going to be burning sensations. But it's really important that you're able to discern the difference between that and your varying tolerance to discomfort and any sharp or very specific joint pain. Okay, so back away from any of that. And don't be afraid if you indeed do touch upon that. You're simply going to back out of the range and or intensity that caused you any sharp specific joint pain and carry on doing the work. Okay, and over time, more than likely, that range would expand, which is to say those sort of painful areas, they need to be respected right now. But as you strengthen and lengthen these tissues and get the health of these tissues improved over time, those painful ranges, you will likely see those expand and or diminish. So, as far as equipment's concerned, we're just going to want somewhere comfortable because we're going to be spending most of the session on the floor. I would recommend having no shoes and socks because we're going to be playing with some toe stuff, which probably isn't as fun as you might be thinking, depending on the part of the world you're in. I'm also going to be using a yoga block. Now, you could be using a book or like a folded blanket, something that we can just mildly manipulate some ranges with. You might not need this entirely, but it is useful to have something perhaps a little bit soft and things like that, just to help with making certain setups a little bit more comfortable, because we're going to be kneeling on the floor and things like that. And on that note, if I'm telling you to hold a position for 2 minutes and you simply can't tolerate it, that's fine. You can simply take a break from it and then rejoin me, and you're still going to get a lot of the intent and benefits from that work. And then perhaps you revisit this video once a week or what have you, depending on whether or not this is a real focus for you right now, and you're going to absolutely see an improvement and a tolerance improve there. So we're going to work our way through primarily ankle, then moving on to some foot stuff, integrated with sort of range of motion screening, which is to say articulate rotations, where we're just going to see the kind of motor control, the kind of movement quality we have and range of motion in our ankles and our feet. Then we're going to be digging into some range expansion work with things like PAILs and rails. So if you've hung out with me before, we do that a lot for other joints. It's just a great, in fact, the best method of improving range of motion, where you hang out in a deep stretch in the end range for a couple minutes, and then we're going to perform some isometric contractions on either side of those joints, and we're going to be doing then various drills to strengthen those new ranges of motion. Okay, so again, these movements, the setups that I'm giving you, are by no means the be-all or end-all. They're just accessible places for us to start that can be easily modified and accessed from home, but make no mistake, once you understand this stuff, you can come up with all kinds of creative ways of loading these tissues and getting the outcomes we want, which is a better performing set of feet and ankles. So whether you're a runner, like I said, just a human being, any kind of person, this work is for you. We're going to start ourselves off with ankle cars. Now, cars, controlled articular rotation, we're just looking to isolate that joint and take it through its full range of motion. In this instance, quite simply, I want you to imagine that you've dropped your foot into a big tub of like peanut butter, or if you hate peanut butter, something similarly viscous, whereby we're going to move very slowly. We're going to go one direction, then we'll go the other direction, and then we'll do that 5 times. Seated position is really nice, and then we're going to hug the upper thigh there so that we can simply allow that foot to be isolated. All right. So from here, what I like to do is think about pointing my big toe and my other toes away, and then scraping the edge of that peanut buttery bucket. And then I'm going to move around. I'm so sorry that you're going to have to spend so long looking at my feet, by the way, but I feel like we're all friends at this point, and if we're not yet, we will be soon. So once I've basically drawn my biggest circle, I'm then going to go back the other direction. If you have kind of jolty movements or parts of it where you're like, you know, like a kind of stop motion, that's fine, especially if you haven't done a lot of this. You're more than likely to hear some sort of like Cocoa Puff Rice Krispie in a milk bowl kind of crackling action. Again, totally normal. And as things go, just think about expanding that circle that you are painting. It's amazing how quickly I lose count with this stuff. Like I said, 5, but let's put 5 in pencil. Call it 4 to 6, depending on how well my executive counting function prevails. After a whole day spent in the gym counting people's reps, I'm going to go one more the other direction. And call it there. Lovely. Let's come on over here the other side. We will be doing these at the end of the session to see if you feel any different, to see if your motor control, any range of movement improvements. Now again, bearing in mind, unlike, say, training a muscle to be bigger and stronger, connective tissue adaptations and joint adaptations take way longer, which is to say, it simply asks that we be patient in our practice, because it is not immediately gratifying, to put it politely. But a useful reframe is that you're going to have these joints, hopefully, more or less, for your entire life. So this kind of work is some of the most important work you can do. Given the amount of attention we give to other stuff, I would argue that your meat vehicle through which you travel this great world, it's worth taking care of her. So there's nothing worse than being in pain and dysfunction or not being able to do the things you want to do. So building out your toolbox, or indeed just chucking up a Jasper vid, hanging out with me with my questionable gentle humor and artful programming, we can take care of business together. Oh, one more the other way. Another thing to note, cramping. Now, we haven't got a lot going on here, but the arch of the foot can be very prone to cramping. Again, just take a break. Super normal when you start this kind of work, and the arch of the foot is indeed quite prone to cramping. So if you're in a position where that happens, just come on out of it, do a little wriggle around, and then rejoin me when you can. Now, this is my favorite one. Toe cars. Now, we're just going to have a bit of a play here. All right, this can be quite funny if you've never done this kind of thing before and you realize like how detached your feet are. What I want you to do is press your toes into the ground and lift your big toe. Now I'm going to move that forward so I can, there we go. Now if you find that you're completely detached and you can't articulate things independently, you can simply block off using your hand so that you can then play with singular movement of, say, a toe or the big toe or the toe, sorry. So you can either block the toe or the toes, sorry, big toe or the toes, get there eventually, you with your hand whilst we're doing these. We'll try and keep this simple by just doing 5 first of all with the big toe, so that's either assisted or going for the unassisted here, where I'm just pressing my toes into the floor whilst lifting my big toe. Now I'm by no means a savant at this stuff. I just try and get my reps in if ever I'm sat on a train or bored. And it's quite funny when you realize, oh my god, I can't control myself. Cool. I'm then going to plant my big toe down and lift my other toes. Again, use assistance if you need to. Now I'm going to lift all of them up and try and do like a piano from the little toe to the big toe. Chick, 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 chick. Up. Chick, 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 chick. Up. Little toe. other toe, other toe, other toe, big toe, hop, tick, 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 pop. Sound effects, I find, often improve performance. Cool. Let's go to the other side. Alright, so we're going to go all toes planted, assistance or otherwise, big toe up. Let's get around, big toe up, down. Big toe up, down. Now I've got a real big squishy toe, so he tends to just rub my other ones on the journey. No foot judgment welcome here. I think that's number 5 for me. So I'm then going to go big toe down and toes up. Pip, pip, pip. 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go toe piano. So all toes up, little toe, sorry, and then ripple on down. Cha-chink. Up. Piano, 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 down. Oh my god. See, look, I slipped up there, didn't I? Whooshka. Last bit of toe piano. Pew! Okay. We're now going to come into a kinetic combat base stretch. So here, you can either load it up with a dumbbell. We can use manual resistance, which is actually quite easy. That's what I'm going to do here, whereby I'm just going to put force through there, and we're just going to, under nice control, drive off the balls of the foot like this, whilst trying to keep the load consistent over the top, and then lower down slowly. Now at the bottom, what's important, we want to feel like the ankle can just about touch the ground. So you feel that big stretch in the Achilles in the back, and that tightness here at the front. All right. We can do a set of 8 per side here. All right, we can do this for a couple of rounds with something else. So drive on up, slowly control down, feel that light kiss of the heel, go again. Again, this is a really nice introduction drill for dorsiflexion. Things that we want for things like squats and stuff like that, or anything where we're in these kind of deep shin angle positions. I'm going to do a couple more. Lovely. Changing sides. Load her up as much as feels appropriate for you. And we'll rock and roll. Drive on up, balls of the feet. And then slowly, whilst keeping that load down, till that heel just kisses lightly. Set of 8. Okay, we're now going to look at our plantar flexion, so the foot going that way, some sit backs. Now 2 options for us here. So our feet are under our butt like so, and we're essentially going to load that up with the butt on the heels, okay? And then we're just going to think about coming up to standing, and then how that load then loads them in that lengthened position. I am going to elevate my bottom, top part of the feet here to then get a much more profound stretch. Now, if you're new to sitting in that base pose, you may well find that no elevation is necessary. So if you want to use a folded towel, blanket, yoga block or something like me, nothing higher than an inch really, and that it's comfortable, you can do that. Now I've got a much better stretch right where I want it, on that plantar flexion ankle position. We're going to do ourselves 8 reps here as well, and then go back to our combat base. So I'm thinking about driving the shin into the floor to bring me up, slowly lower on down, okay? That was my magic 8 there. Nothing magic 8, about 8 by the way, just easy to remember for all of these. So we're going to come back on over now and just do another round from the top. This time we should have a better idea of what we're doing. Tissues are warm, we're more aware. Load that up and let's get our 8 reps in there. Drive on up, controlled to the top, load it down. Okay, that was my 8. And off again last time round. Okay, back to our plantar sit back dealios. Again, if this position feels really humbling for you, fret not. I spent a lot of time sat here. It was miserable when I first started. Again, like everything, just time, practice, patience, all those things we hate as human beings. But somewhere in there lies a great peace and empowerment. The journey of becoming never ends. Okay, we're now going to move on to our first set of PAILs and rails for ankle inversion. Now, this will probably feel pretty alien. What I want you to have is somewhere that you can confidently sort of hold on to. This could be the edge of a chair, it could even be a broomstick. I'm going to be using the edge of this wall here. Now, inversion, you probably only know if you've ever rolled an ankle, because we don't spend a lot of time stood on our feet like so. So we're going to want to think like we do with that ankle cars, like I've gone, and then just pop that outside of the foot down. Use as much support as you feel you need, because this is probably going to be a relatively sobering position. And from here, we're going to set a 2-minute timer. Don't worry, I've got you, he says. Oh, watch. Okay, so again, I'm going to be putting quite a bit of load through there. I'm just using my other foot as a sort of balance tool, and I'm just sitting into that stretch. Okay, so hopefully you've joined me now. Let me talk to you about what's going to happen once our 2 minutes is up. Our first contraction, the progressive angular isometric loading, PAILs, very catchy stuff. You want to think press and scrape away. So our ankle's inverted like this. You want to imagine I'm trying to scrape, I'm trying to drive this big black tile over this away. So whatever floor you're on, you want to imagine you're trying to drag it up like you're trying to put your foot back to flat. It's not going to go anywhere, thus the isometric. All right, so there's no tissues lengthening or shortening. We're just kind of ramp ourselves up. And when I say that, I mean it, which is to say, I'm going to give you a 5-second window to go 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100% intensity across that 5 seconds. Now 100% intensity is relative to you. Okay, that might be like 70% of your max effort. That's where we're essentially trying to contract all the lengthened tissues on the outside of that foot and ankle by driving it away. And we spend, after that 5-second ramp up, we're going to spend 15 seconds just contracting that. And then when that has expired, again, I'll count you through this, I'm going to try and contract all the stuff on the inside here that's shortened. Okay? So all that stuff that's pointing up at me now, I'm going to try and contract that and pull myself deeper into inversion. Ooh, that'll be uncomfortable too. We're then going to spend 30 seconds there just hanging out in that new range. We'll do another set and that's us. Then we'll do a strengthening drill, as it were, in some of that new range, and then we'll repeat the same on the other side. Just a one and done here. I know it's a long, arduous process in some ways to be spent in a really uncomfortable position, but this is powerful stuff. All right, and again, we can apply this to any joint. Now that is our 2 minutes up, so what I want us to do here is start ramping up, start trying to scrape that mat away. You'll feel immediately what I'm talking about. It's an uncomfortable strain sensation. I'm coming up to 40%, 60%, 80%. Now everything I've got for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to pull everything on the inside like I'm trying to pull myself deeper into inversion, trying to turn that foot upside down. Show yourself the sole of the foot, squeezing, squeezing. Here we are, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stop contracting anything. All right, we're in essence just hanging out now in what is, in theory, a deeper range of motion. We really contracted that lengthened tissue, then we pulled ourselves deeper, even if it didn't feel like it, by squeezing the shortened side, the regressive tissue. And now we're hanging out. We're going to do it again, another set of isometrics, just as we did there. All right, and then I'm afraid we will have to repeat the same on the other side. So let's start doing that again. Ramp up for me, 20% here, just trying to open that foot out into the floor. 40%, 60%, 80%. Everything we got for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now think about showing yourself the arch of the foot. Squeeze it. Try and pull yourself deeper into inversion. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Let's stay there. Stay there. What we're going to do now, using our same setup, definitely recommend some hand support here. We're just going to do 8 reps of an inversion split squat, which seems totally mad, but use plenty of hand support here. And we're just going to essentially put some forces through that new range of motion. So please be super conservative. Again, you can go hard as a MFer later down the line once you've built confidence here. Okay, so I'm just going to come on out of that. Whoa, yeah. All right, maybe give it a little bit of movement around. I'm then going to pop myself into a split squat stance, hand support, got that inverted ankle, and I'm just going to control myself down. You can play with your split squat stance, and depending on how that feels, you can put more or less forces through it. I'm going to close my stance a little bit and just do 8 reps here. I got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Cool. We're going to waste no time in setting up inversion on the other side. Okay, so join me if you would, finding your passive end range of motion. 2 minutes on the clock here. We're going to do the exact same process, and then we're going to move on largely to toes. We're going to do a little bit of arch work and then onto the toes. Now, I meant when I said comprehensive, right? And this isn't obviously even all the functions of the ankle. You can do PAILs and rails in every possible little direction. It all depends on what you need your feet and ankles for. This is a great general start, covering the bases of some areas that are often really weak or tight, and or both. But you can obviously cherry pick stuff. Like, are you a runner? Okay, then you're going to want to have, you know, lots of different functions there, as well as strength and resiliency, certainly in ranges like this, so that, you know, whatever sport you engage with, whatever you do that you love, that's dynamic and unpredictable, there's going to be an inherent risk. There's no such thing as injury proofing, but we can certainly make tissues less likely to be hurt in certain positions, and if they do get hurt, expedite recovery by making those tissues really healthy and strong in the first place, which is a huge difference maker when it comes to getting back from injury and things like that. 45 seconds, we'll do our PAILs and rails, we'll do our split squat, and then we'll move ourselves on. Running on the old time here. Lovely. Mother Nature is brewing up a surprise for us. I know it. Dun, 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 dun. All right, 15 seconds, and we'll do our ramp up. All right. Okay, bud. I'm going to start driving that foot away, right? Trying to scrape this mat that away into the ground. 40%, 60%, 80%. Everything I got here, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull on the inside of the ankle, trying to pull yourself deeper into inversion. Show yourself the arch of that foot. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stop tensing everything. Let's relax, if there is such a thing. Oh yeah, the storm is coming, Mr. Wayne. All right, let's ramp back up for our last one. 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. Everything you got, safest and greatest effort. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails contraction. Try and pull yourself deeper. Invert that foot towards you. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hang out there. Then we'll do our split squat. Listen, the rain has started, okay? And we're going to prevail. If we have to make an emergency exit, we will. Or it might provide a really soothing backdrop. Okay. Oh, come on out. Get a bit of movement back in there. Feels dead. And yet so alive. So let's come on in. Inverted split squat for 8 controlled reps with assistance. Okay. Now what we're going to do is some arch lifts, where I just want us to think about, like you're trying to, with the balls of your foot and then the heel being the thumb, trying to scrunch the floor up, and we're just going to do 8 repetitions of 5-second holds. So it's like you're trying to give yourself arch cramp, all right? So grip the floor, pull everything together, Certainly lifting that arch away from the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And again, let's grip. Arch that foot. Balls. 3, 2, 1. And relax. And again, squeeze everything together. Ripple that floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And again, rep 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Rep 5. Squeeze the arch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 7. Grip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last rep here. 8. Squeeze. Lift the arch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Haha. Now next up, we're going to look at some toe extension pails and rails. I mean, it's just couldn't get more fun. Couple of options for us here. You could have, like I could get that bench there, or a chair or something to support the torso on if you really don't want to put any weight through there, because this position may be really sobering. So you could do that. We could be here and then you can play with that position. That might well be the best option for us here because you can moderate the intensity. Okay, so pick the base that's right for you. I'm gonna be in this one just to put a bit more load through there, okay? And if I need to, I'm going to come on down to that lesser one. So toes are all flexed under us, the butt somewhat sitting, but again, you can play with that, how much load you put through there. Objective here is again just to find that toe range of motion, end range of motion in that extended position. Then again, this will be a weird one. At the end of this 2 minutes, we're going to think about pressing the ground away with the toes. Try not to move. Don't let the bum come up. Just like you're trying to, toes are in this position, you're trying to go like this, okay? And then we're going to, so we'll ramp on up for that again. 5-second ramp up, 15-second isometric hold, pressing into the ground, and then we're going to think about pulling the toes towards you, all right, to sit deeper into extension with those toes. Hang out there, repeat, and that's us. And then we'll finish up with some more dorsi and plantar flexion in a squat base, and then a CARS retest. Alrighty. It's basically gone from daytime to nighttime because of how black these clouds are. I hope you can see me. If not, I'm gonna have to work some magic in post-production. My favorite. And if you're still here, you're one of the real ones, all right? Not only to spend what has got to be an hour with me by the end of this, but an hour on your feet and ankles. Fantastic, fantastic. But we want to be dancing at our kids' weddings or just backflipping when we're 80, I don't know. Whatever we want to do when we're old, it's going to require our feet and ankles. And I've met people with arthritis, and, you know, it's better to beat it to it. Okay. So, coming up on that ramp up very soon, we're going to start pressing those toes into the ground like we're trying to move away, okay? Let's do that now. 20%, 40%, 60%, sorry, 80%. Everything we got here for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull toes towards you. You might have some sort of sinking sensation, which is illuminating just a bit of range that we've won. 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hang out here. We're just going to hang out here before we do our last set of pails and rails. So should be trying not to contract anything. If you're still with me, I understand you're probably going to have quite a deep, uncomfortable burning sensation, perhaps through your shin area, the tibialis. Oh, I do love the sound of rain there. Magical. Okay, let's perform our last set here. I'm going to start ramping up, so I'm pressing those toes into the ground like I'm trying to extend the world away. 40%, 60%, 80%, everything I got here for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull them towards you. Pull those toes towards you. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just relax a little bit into there. Next up, we're going to be doing some squat base plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Again, just for a nice 8-rep set. Integrate everything we've been doing. You could hold onto a piece of furniture if you're not super comfortable down into a squat base, and you can lean on back. I'll try just doing it freestand, maybe with some hand assistance. So let's come on out of that. Oh, toesies. Cozy toesies. So, if you can find yourself in a squat base, holding onto something out in front of you can be a nice idea. I'm just going to pop my fingers here. We're going to come on up, okay, into that position. Plantar. Sit those heels down for dorsi. And again, try and find that sweet spot where it doesn't feel really chill. It's like sitting those heels down really challenges the ankle range of motion there. Coming up onto those newly founded toes. I'm on 6 here. 7. And 8. Woohoo! Okay. So, we're just going to finish up here with another set of cars. Let's just do 3 really nice cars on each ankle. We're going to do some toe stuff. And then we'll call it there, my friendo. So, oh yes. Definitely feeling worked here. You might find, wow, I have a noticeably more range or not. And on that note, short-term range improvements, because you'll often see this stuff on like clickbaity social media stuff. Short-term range improvements, like within a session, is what we would call nervous system trickery, where you've essentially, trick sounds bad, but used certain contractions, isometrics and things to give your nervous system a relaxation effect in ranges of motion, so you can suddenly be like, wow, I did this in one session. Those aren't lasting physiological changes to the tissues. Like I said, that's a nervous system response. Important part of the process, but as long as you then get into those ranges and do some hard efforts, contractions, strengthening. Let's now come toe car here. All right. So toes down, big toe up, bang, up, down, up, down, 4, down, 5, down, big toe down, toes up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a little piano. Bingo. Alright, let's do another 3 of these guys each way. I mean, that is some profound rain. I'm amazed it's not getting on me, to be fair. Who needs sound effects? Wowzer. Okay, toes down, big toe dancing. And then big toe down, toes dancing. And then little toe up, down piano, toes up, piano, toes up, piano, toes up, piano. Okay. Listen, I hope that session was useful. Bearing in mind, I take these sessions on request. I love hearing about people who want to do a deeper dive on an area of their body to get it stronger, more mobile, feeling better, performing better. And this was one of our wonderful members' requests. So if you have anything that you really would like to dig into and conventional stretching methods and things like that have failed you, welcome to the party. My next kin class can be dedicated to you, and we can grow this library to gain mastery of every corner of our bodies. And that's exciting, that's fun. I'll see you either in our next kin class or in our next Hero Legend workout. All sorts of stuff happening in the week. Thank you very much to all of you who tune in and share and like and subscribe. All that stuff means a lot to me, and I hope you found this useful. See you next time.